hopefully we see you guys in the Bahamas. We want to just give you a little reminder about the Isobody Challenge. So years ago, that was like a thing, right? Like if you were on a 30 date, you did the Isobody, and people kind of got away from it because they got started with collagen. And then it was like, well, why would I take my before and after pictures? And does this work? You guys should definitely spend some time looking at it yourself. Get enrolled if you haven't. But if you have new customers, new weight loss customers, definitely teach them about it. I mean, it's great accountability. The company has an amazing drip campaign to kind of educate people as they're in the Isobody Challenge. But here's two statistics. And if you guys want to type this in the chat, it's pretty powerful. It will boost your retention by 300%. That's what the company data says. So if you have customers on the Isobody Challenge, just imagine 300% retention in terms of either how long they're your customer or like what they're ordering. Because the other part is that it increases the basket size. They have to order a minimum of 500 BV over those challenges. You're not in it, don't worry. Ryan's walking by thinking he might be in my camera. You guys can say hi to Ryan, but he's not in the camera. But they're all waving to you. But it will increase your basket size, right? So if you're having someone who might only be ordering like 120 BV every, 90 days or something, if they realize the math, they get closer to 200 BV. Just think about what that does for your entire downline. If every single person is in the Isobody Challenge. So want to put a little bit of focus in that. And then if you are already committed to going to Celebration in September 5th to the 8th, put a 1 in the chat. And if you're like, what is Celebration? I'm going to tell you, but it's our flagship core event. It's absolutely amazing. It's down in Arizona. We have our global teams from Europe, Canada, Mexico. Everybody's attending. It's a game changer. So you guys need to all get there. Grab your tickets because this will sell out. It's not as huge of a venue as we've had in Orlando. Sybil can tell you all about the amazing time to be in Arizona in September. She's a little native from Arizona down there. Well, not native, but she resides in Arizona right now. But grab your tickets. And I will just encourage you guys, start talking to your team now about it, because you don't want it to be like August 15th to be like, hey, are you coming with us in September? And then have no idea what you're talking about, right? It will sell out. Everybody that you're bringing on, be like, by the way, grab a ticket. Like, just set the expectation. Both of our teams I know, have a goal to have over 100 people there. Let's start working on that right now. So when we look at the registration, that we are sitting on tickets that when it's sold out, we can be like, hey, I've got one for you. Secure the seat that we just really, really packed the house with Dreamers in Action in Team Win. Real quick, before I introduce Sybil and we jump into the call, I know our work at task, sometimes we're doing it, sometimes we're not. Like, we had to honor Sharon last week and we didn't get it done. But I want you guys to do two things. And then within less than 4 minutes, we're going to turn it over to Sybil for tonight's call. The first work at task that I want you to do is I want you to thank 3 customers. I know that we all want business builders. We all want the next Holly Kirsch, Ann White, Jessica Rigner, in our downline. But the majority of our cycles, the majority of our income comes from incredible, incredible loyal customers that love our products, that order every single month, that are walking billboards. That I want you to just think about someone who's never moved their auto ship out, right? Who just orders from you every single month. They jump on every seasonal and just send 3 heartfelt voice messages like, oh my gosh, Stephanie, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for supporting our home-based health and wellness business. Your orders mean the world to me and my family. Of all the places you could get top-notch nutrition, we love that you believe in Isogenics as much as we do. And I really just wanted to say thank you so much. Your referrals mean the world to me. Your orders mean the referral to me. If there's anything I can ever do to answer your questions, teach you about upcoming products, save you money on launches, whatever it is, please let me know. Okay. So put your favorite emoji in the window or in the chat if you are committed to 3 gratitude messages to customers. And then the second thing I want you to do is I want you to post on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok, whatever it is right now, something just kind of quick that comes to mind. TikTok might not be the best. You might need a little bit more time for that. But I keep thinking about what Anne Barante trained a couple weeks ago when she did our call about, is it emotional, right? Does it entertain? And what was the 3 one? Now I'm drawing a blank. Someone help me. Emotional, entertain, and educate, right? I was like, where did my brain just go? And just, I think about that, right? And with all of the notifications, all of the busyness that happens on social media, what makes you stand out? And so before I'm posting, I'm always like, does it entertain, right? Is it emotional? Like, does it draw someone in that they go, oh my gosh, I totally feel that, right? And does it educate? So I want you to just think about that and get a post up. And if you're like, okay, that overwhelms me, Lauren, I can't do that in 2 minutes, then put a fun engagement post up tonight, right? Ask about vacuums, ask about spring break trips, ask about where to get the bathing suits, ask about natural sunscreen, whatever it is, but get a good engagement post up that you've got a list of people to work off all week long. So I'm going to mute and we're going to turn it over to Sybil in 2 minutes. Get your gratitude messages out and your post.
Hey, Sybil. I think you were out of the room when you were introduced. We're ready for you, I think.
Oh, I think that she was going to have people work for a second. Lauren,
Yep,
are you?
correct. Yep. We got
Okay.
just like a few minutes
Perfect.
left and then it's all Sybil.
Okay. For a second, I was out of the room, so I
Oh,
wasn't sure.
no, you're good,
Mary
babe.
Ellen,
Okay.
Mary Ellen, she said, 2 minutes, gratitude messages, and then Sybil begins.
– 60 seconds and our call starts. All right, guys. I will tell you my engagement post either tonight or tomorrow is going to be like, what time do you all eat dinner if you have a child, a young child? Because Ryan and I were like eating at like 5 o'clock, keeping him up. Now, but do we put him to bed and do we eat at like 8 o'clock? And then when you have like a work call or something in between, I'm like, this is like a whole nother thing. And I thought we had a rhythm. Then daylight savings happened. Trying to put a kid down that doesn't like to sleep at night when it's light out. Holy moly. So anyway, thanks for the flexibility. We were like literally finishing in the kitchen. Ryan's like, am I in the camera? I'm like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. So I'm super, super excited to have Sybil on the call, you guys. I'm going to read her bio to you, and then I just want to give her a little personal introduction. But Sybil's a 5-star Golden Circle, 7-star Crystal Executive. She's been with Isagenix for 8 years. And has enjoyed every minute of it. I love that part. She comes from over 20 years of network marketing with another experience where she taught people to make delicious desserts. Maybe you're going to have to teach us that at like a retreat or something. She must have known that she was paying it forward, that she could help their previous clients get their healthy on. She now coaches and supports their new journey as they transform their lives with our amazing products. She has 2 wildly successful adult children. They are the biggest accomplishment of her life, and having a flexible career allows her handsome husband, David, to work remotely where the sun takes them. Her passion for building a fun culture with her teammates is making all of her lives come true. So let's think about what your life can look like, and that freedom and that flexibility and just all the joys of it. But I want to honor a lot of her recognition in terms of awards and the leadership that she has with our company. She's an ISA Derby winner, multiple top achievers, multiple ISA Dash, Shooting Star Award, Women of Isagenix, founder of the Tribe Time Global Community, multiple 6-figure earner every year, and number 425 Legacy Club earner, you guys, which is so fun. If any of you have ever had a chance to be backstage in an Isagenix event, there's like certain people you just always gravitate to. And somehow like Sybil and Bethany Krause have been like my 2 like besties back there. I'm always like, how do I end up here? We've gotten to all the selfies, but honestly, like in line before like recognition or something. I've heard her story, heard more about her family. She is just a warm, friendly face. But the part that I really invited her on here, you guys, if you're not familiar with Tribe Time, I'm going to have Sybil really kind of explain it. But she has put this amazing community together of everybody in the company and just said, it doesn't matter where you come from and whose team you're on, like, let's work together. And she has these amazing calls lined up on Tuesdays, incredible guest speakers are open to everybody, and just like oozes the Isagenix culture. She's so fun. She's so fabulous. She's tenacious. And so we're so excited to have you on. I would like for you to just start first with your story. Like, tell us how you came to Isagenix, like why Isagenix, any of that fun stuff, because a lot of people don't know you.
Okay, well, you guys, thank you so much. It is a Monday night and I am in Arizona and we are the ones that actually have to really, I think, amend our schedules because we don't have daylight savings time. So your time changed and I had you guys down for 7, but because Arizona doesn't change time, it ended up being 6. So we just deal with a lot of that, but this is such an absolute honor. And I was receiving the most sweet messages from some of your teammates today, like pumping me up for this call. So whatever you're doing with your team, it is working and it's magical. And I just really, really want you to know how honored I feel to be able to be presenting to another team because I present to my team pretty much every day. So this is really, really delightful. But 8 years ago, it's kind of a sad story. I was with another network marketing company and we were selling pots and pans and lots of pizza stones. And I had lots of shows booked here in Arizona, but my father fell ill due to complications from open heart surgery. So I was having to go to Idaho, which is really where I'm from, a lot. In 104 days, I went to Idaho 11 different times and sat by his bedside. He never recovered. And on the way home from his funeral, I made the decision to really align myself with a health and well-being company because I realized people were not getting any better. And it was definitely job security because I was coming home to no shows. And if you don't have shows in that other network marketing company, you don't have business. You literally had to go out, sell the pizza stones, arrange the next show. And if you even fell out of your rhythm a little bit, things really started going downhill, including my income. And I was an executive in that company too. They only had 50 executives in the entire company. And so for me to watch my income just totally dry up based on a death in the family just didn't feel right to me. And I also watched what they were feeding my dad at the hospital, and Ensure was not the right thing to feed these patients in their feeding tubes. And my dad was a very, very, very strong athletic man at 70. He had 1 year of retirement from the day that he worked his last day to 1 month to when he went into the hospital. So I watched a lot of things in front of me just like happen. And I realized I needed to get a grip on my own health. I, like Lauren, had been a cycling instructor. I taught cycling for 23 years and always carried the about 12 extra sticky pounds. And I'd get really cranky when people would say, "You're a fitness instructor." I'm like, "Yeah, why? Do I not look like one?" And so I'd get kind of cranky about it. But I thought, you know what? This company's comp plan is amazing. I can lose these 12 sticky pounds while I am trying it out. And then I found out that it was right here in my backyard. So I live in Chandler, about 5 miles from corporate headquarters. We were able to be there last Friday. So when they announced that the cruise was, or that they were going to take us from corporate to the Bahamas, I was like, oh, I was just at corporate. So I'm very fortunate in that manner that I get to go there a lot. And they do call upon us. I really feel that I've got a voice there. And that's a very, very rare feeling. In my previous company, even though I was, at the top of that company as an executive, they're in Addison, Illinois. So they didn't really fly us out there all that much to give them advice on products and so on. And I really feel that at this company they do. But I enrolled and quickly just took off with my hair on fire. I didn't know what I was doing. We didn't really have an infrastructure. All of my upline were all brand new too. We'd all kind of shifted over from that other pizza stone company. And so none of us knew what we were doing. But we ran fast and we ran hard and we loved what we were experiencing in our bodies. We loved the culture. It's very unique. If you've been anywhere else in any other companies, this culture is amazing. Jim and Kathy were very accessible to me. I remember in my first few months going to Jim and Kathy's house and helping her pick out a dress that she was going to wear to celebration. I mean, that's weird, like very, very unique. But that's the culture of this company. And I loved that. I am very much social. I'm kind of a chick's chick. I like girlfriend retreats. I like wine. I like cocktails. I like signature drinks. I like playlists. I like choreographing fun dances when I'm all together with girls, but that's this culture here. And my husband always teases me and says, that's the best looking group of people in yoga pants I've ever seen. And it's true. I mean, we didn't have to wear nylons and suits like I had to in my other company. So it's just the right place to be at the right time. And I've never known anybody else really willing to pay this girl from Boise, Idaho, the kind of dough that this company pays. So um, I'm I'm really, really impressed with what has happened in my story and with the company and with the team and of course with corporate. And now I just find myself extremely, extremely driven to be the best ambassador for Isogenics as humanly possible. So I think one of the reasons that Lauren may have reached out was I'm kind of present. I'm definitely not going away. And that's good because a lot of people have. And I think that you have to be in for the long haul. You have to be present. You have to show up every day. And in this world, in this place that we're in on social media, I repost a lot of stuff that I made a long time ago. So even if I am not really feeling camera ready that day, I'll probably regurgitate a post from 2 years ago. So I'm very present, and that's kind of some of my jam is a lot of social media stuff and having just an absolute blast doing it. So that's kind of my story. That just really lets you understand a little bit of the pain points, but also how much of a perfect fit this was for me. And now today, looking more at retirement, I'm no longer a fitness instructor, but still getting on my bike every dang day. Yay, Peloton. I'm still just absolutely just honored that this company continues to innovate products now for like healthy aging. And then of course, the retirement piece. I'm looking at retirement, you guys. I'm 58, but I can kick and stretch. So it's just one of those things that has just been the perfect fit for me. And it hasn't always been the perfect fit for everybody, but it happens to just feel really, really good right now.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so tell them a little bit about Tribe Time, how that started, what you're doing, who can plug into that, like.
If you have a pulse, you can plug into it. And it really is, again, my philosophy of one team. And when I came into Isogenics, we were still not too sure if we should be shouting it from the mountaintops, because the big fear, especially in the organization that I spring from, they were really fearful that if we said the word Isogenics, that people would go Google it and then order it on Amazon. And so we weren't really allowed to even say the word Isogenics in our social media. So it really was a strange shift that I went through, because I thought, wait a second, I'm not ashamed of what I do. I've been doing it my entire adult life. It's how I've raised my children. My children think that every single person's mom is a network marketer and doesn't understand why they can't come to soccer practice. It's like I raised two kids that really, really understood that I had my own gig and I was driven and I was ambitious. And I luckily came out of it with two incredibly ambitious kids. So it did rub off. Their dad's pretty awesome too. But I think that I'm always thinking about that. Like, what sort of message is this sending? But I found myself about 5 years ago, I guess we bought a place in Idaho so that we could spend the summers there. And I thought, oh my gosh, what about the team meetings? Because we were actually meeting every Tuesday in somebody's home. And so it was actually me along with 3 other execs from my team. And they said, we'll carry this on. You go to Idaho and have fun, and we'll just Zoom you in. So every single Tuesday, we started getting together. And then pretty soon, I found out that there were a bunch of orphans in Arizona. And because corporate is here, a lot of big hitters move to Arizona or vacation here or live here part of the year. And I thought, let's have these people come in and be our guest speakers. So that's where a lot of the Tribe Time original members came from, is we just asked them to come and present. And I'm also of the philosophy that I have to sit so other leaders can stand. So it's been a really great launching pad for people to be prepared to actually do presentations, to lead, to research, to speak, to understand how to project their voice. It's been a great launching pad for that. So the caliber of leaders that we're having on that call now are really not how we started. But we started by all really kind of just trading month to month to month. A different leader will facilitate the whole month. And she might like suggest a book, and then that month we talk about that book. But now, after the world shut down and it became totally Zoom focused, we're able to open up to the whole globe. So we've got people that set their alarm and tune in at 2 a.m. in whatever European country that they're in. But I think that we were at the time that people were starting to feel orphaned, maybe by their sponsor, their upline. And we can still feed them. We can still teach them. We can still train them. We can still talk about what's working for them and what's not. And I just found that if I have found something that's working extremely well for me personally, for my organization, I have to tell everyone else so that they don't waste their time fumbling through it, trying to figure it out. Because I believe that the more successful folks we can have in Isogenics will create more successful folks in Isogenics. And eventually they'll be lining up on my doorstep to enroll. Because it could happen. Like if we become that brand, that name, kind of like Kleenex or Xerox or Coca-Cola, people will be lining up because they'll hear how amazing this company is and they want a piece of it. So I'm definitely I'm definitely compensation plan business focused. That's why I came. I studied the comp plans. I knew this one was generous. And I really believe that people need some additional income, and this is easy. It's fun. It's a total kick. So why go out and learn a new trade or a new skill or take on a job that you actually have to learn? You know this works. Like this comp plan is amazing. And so I just really feel that everybody would enroll if they only knew about us. So I can't keep it to myself.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Everyone would enroll if they knew about this. I don't know if anybody here saw the Facebook Live that I did last week. Because I'm in all these groups that are always like, no MLMs, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's like the headline, right? It's like in like Capital, it has asterisk by it, or it's like, I'm looking for additional income, no MLMs. And it drives me crazy because then you see whatever it is that they're looking for. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so against this? Because if you only knew, it's like the answer to everything you want. And I was on my live being like, if you only knew what you don't know, that I love that you just said that. So one of the things that I have always adored about you is that you have duplication within your team and you have other leaders, and you've really been able to take product users and develop them into successful team leaders or be able to recruit business builders. And I think a lot of people in here are like, I just have customers. Like, how do I grow my cycles? Like, how do I bring on business builders? I would love for them to hear from you. What are your best tips to either recruit someone who's coming for the business the same way you were obviously brought on, or how do you take a happy customer and really develop them to manager and beyond?
Well, I'm pretty aggressive about the second piece, which is what I'll start with, which is how do you bring a happy customer to be a business builder? This is going to sound a little rough, but I don't give them a choice. They can talk themselves out of making money in this business by loving our product, but most of them will not. And really what they're waiting for is an invite to join you to make some money. They don't know what they don't know. And many of them are stressed out. They've got daytime jobs. They've got a lot of other stuff. But many of you all have daytime jobs, right? I mean, I know they can do it. And so we kind of disguise some of our trainings. But if a person enrolls with me on a Monday and we've got a training that's, of course, it's been a while since we've all done, well, maybe it hasn't. Maybe for us, we've done like retreats. And so if I enroll somebody on a Monday and we've got a retreat on Saturday or Friday, I'm going to have them come to that and let them know that that's where they'll learn about the products. So they're going to stay for the comp plan and all the 4 careers and everything that's very business focused, but they just really don't, they're afraid. They're really afraid of, even using the product, let alone making a little bit of money with it. But quickly, I think what ends up having them kind of calm down is they stay for the community. They stay for the culture, because they're like, I'm a real estate agent and I'm not going to stop that gig, but I like these chicks. They are fun and they're teaching me how to do Instagram reels. So I think that sometimes it's a little bit of a hook, a little disguise, but having a lot of events to take those product users to is really helpful. One of the execs on my team, I don't think that she's on this call, but she wanted to learn more about the shakes and the bars. And I'm like, oh, we've got this thing called Fast Track to Exec. Come with me on Tuesday night. I'll pick you up. She didn't have any other choice but become an exec. She just wanted to learn about the shakes and the bars. But I think we've gotten away from events. So we don't really have something to plug them into on Saturday after we enroll them on Monday. So I think that that's one of the big pieces, is that you've always got to have an event to drive them to pretty quickly. And that's probably one of the number one reasons that people do go for the business. We have a call every day that is called Power Hour. And I always say to the team, have you literally taken somebody by the hand and sent them the Zoom code and given them the 30-minute countdown, the 15-minute countdown, the 10-minute countdown, sent them to the call so that when they pop on the Zoom, we can welcome them. Sometimes we scare them a little bit, but I think that the people that you honestly educate and let them know, we get together every day. You're going to learn some new stuff that is going to be helpful in your personal life. And if you ever have somebody ask you about this business, you'll know what to say. So they come to the Power Hours, and some of them stay and some of them don't. Some of them come, 2 times a week or whatever, but we teach a skill every single day that would be valuable. So it's value add. But if you don't have something to grab their hand and bring them to, take them to Tribe Time. Do the 1 hour countdown, do the half an hour countdown. Call starts in 30 minutes. We're going to learn about blah, 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 blah today. I want you to jump on that call and see what this is all about. And then maybe you say to them, did you like it? Put it in your calendar and come back next Tuesday. So even if you don't have something going on, there are calls that we would love to have them come to. And if they get educated about our culture and the community, and that we're very willing to share, I think it takes some of the fear away that we aren't this big bad MLM that's going to make them do all this stuff. We are just there, just like they are. I always tell the team, I don't have any different magic glitter than you have. I just am more willing to sprinkle it everywhere. And I think that for us seems to be the difference, I think, is that you just got to be really bold about it.
I love that. And if you were to survey, the top 200 income earners, like who really came for the business, or left another company, excuse me, and how many product users ended up, sorry, becoming incredible business builders because they got a taste of the money and they're motivated by compensation because they realize how normal it is, and some of the myths that we thought it was are not the case. You'd be surprised. And some of Sybil's direct uplines. I don't know if you guys know, she's in Tina Kirkpatrick and Trudy Maple's organization. She's crossline to us. We all go up to Janny and Cindy. She's another Isa cousin on the other side of Jess and me, but of where that comes from. But if you were to go through so many people and just say, hey, did you come for the business? Did you come for the products? I mean, Holly and Joel are 2 walking examples of that. I mean, they were like, we are not selling that, we're not doing that. He's a successful hot attorney, she's a successful hot boutique owner. This was not them, but then they immediately saw the culture. And I mean, look at where they are now on every leaderboard and just kind of leading the way. That's part of it. But Jess and Erica were so good at plugging them in. And granted, they happen to be in Maui with Kathy Coover. That's who else could you go have dinner with? That's not everybody's story. But I love that you're doing that. And I will just say, last week when we were talking about Stephanie and Tristan and on the global associate call, and is that his name? Yeah, her name's
Yeah.
Tristan, right? Why am I
Yeah.
like second guessing myself? And he was like, we're doing what all of you stopped doing, exactly what Sybil's saying. And I've been talking a lot about this, about the consistency of events. Emily Sutherland and I were
So
just
true.
texting about it. I did Wind Down Wednesday every Wednesday for almost 5 years, every Wednesday. And sometimes I had 2 people and sometimes I had 100 people. On average, we had 20 to 30. And my sister and I were there every week. And when we started it, it was literally my sister and me and my mom. And then we grew it. I had to move out of the apartment building I was in and do hotel rooms sometimes, right? And then we went back and it was so consistent. But exactly what Sibyl's saying, it'd be like, come to this event, come meet my girlfriend, come have a glass of wine. And they could just all plug in every single week, every single week, every single week. And it inspires me to want to get back to that because it worked, and it's one thing to enroll someone today. You guys were in the middle of March and we're going to talk to them about celebration. Like what a gap between now and September, that there has to be something. It has to be a super Saturday. It has to be a call. It has to be a launch party. It has to be a college and cocktails event, something that they see the community, because on Zoom, on Messenger, on three-way calls, there's always going to be, I think, a level of skepticism than when you're in someone's kitchen, when you're at someone's coffee at your house, when you're out to lunch or at the gym and you just see these like real people with real results physically and financially. It just changes it. So I absolutely love that you brought that up. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, because you have so much success in this industry with multiple companies, what do you think is something you would tell your younger self? Like if you could look back and like to a brand new builder, something that you did then, like, oh my gosh, don't do this, or I wish I'd known this then. What advice do you have there?
Well, I'm extremely driven to prove the naysayers wrong. I went to the School of Hard Knocks. I did not graduate from college, and I was raised by 2 college professors. Both of my children are highly educated. My son's got his master's. And so for a little bit about me is that I am really, really interested in making sure that my children see a very successful mother, even though I ended up giving birth to my son when I should have been graduated from college, but he's here because of it. So some of us fell into these situations, and sure, I could have gone back to college, but my business was taking off, not Isogenics, my previous business, right at the time that I was planning on going back to college. So I rode that wave instead. And it hasn't been a bad decision. My children didn't really have a choice to go to college or not to go to college, but I think that that's been really important for me to remember, what that was like to be one of the only people that I know in my entire friend circle and family that did not graduate from college. I really wear it sometimes on my sleeve, but I really wanted to prove that you could be as successful as you wanted to be. So I would tell my younger self to just go for it, and don't let anybody take you out of your goals, because really they're yours. And I think why I love network marketing so much is that it allows you to control your own destiny. You all know that if you take a week off of work, your team sees it and you'll see it in your cycles, which tells me that if I don't take that week off, or I continue to plug in even though I am gone, so that they know I'm there, so that they don't see me taking my foot off the gas, I won't have that dip in cycles. So we know it's a black and white equation. Like we know when our cycles are going to drop. We know when our teams are going to stop working. It's usually speed of the leader, speed of the pack. So I love being able to control my own destiny. I also love to be able to increase my cycles. And I always tell the team, like when we have a launch, a shake launch, I can invest 1 extra hour and text 50 more people. And usually it equates to like 20 more cycles. 20 times 50, 410. You guys do the math. That 1 hour of extra work was worth that amount of money. Did anybody do the math? 20 cycles times 50, 410 are cycles.
Like $1,000.
Yes. So is 1 hour's time worth $1,000 to y'all? It is to me. And I definitely could spend less time scrolling and a little bit more time reaching out. So the math is there. I've proven it time and time again. Our team has proven it time and time again. So it's just, it's effort equals reward, right? And I think a 20-year-old Sybil would have really liked that rather than this kind of risky, ominous, what might I make? We get to control that. And I think that we kind of lose sight of that. Obviously, a lot of the top leaders' cycles have dipped and the companies dipped and dips, but we still have the ability to be paid exceptionally well. And it is based on our effort. And I love that. I love that it is based on our work.
I love that. So many people that are brand new have no idea what Isagenix history was like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Some of us that have been here for a while have kind of seen pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, or, wherever it is. I will just, on a side note to that, I'm interjecting unrelated to your question, Sybil, but I'm really, really excited to be talking a lot about the nutrition again. Like Jess and I share this, that like we got so collagen heavy, and then be back to the nutrition and just, higher BV, higher PIBs, but really like what it does for people. But there's a girl in my neighborhood that I have like bumped into a handful of times. And like, since the day I like saw her in our clubhouse, she has a dog out walking, I'm like, gosh, she's like my ideal person. Like, how in the world am I gonna like bring this up in like the short time? And I end up running into her at the yoga studio over the weekend. I'm like, aren't you like my neighbor? But it was like out of context. Like I wasn't expecting to see her. And I'm going to tell you all of this because I ended up finally having a conversation with her, and it was just the right timing. And she unloaded on me with like fertility issues and adrenal issues. And I'm thinking like, God, no wonder why I'm like supposed to meet this girl, and like former fitness instructor, blah, 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 blah. But like everything she was saying to me, I was like, Isagenix can do this. Isagenix can help you. Isagenix can help you. Like I was thinking about the moringa for her blood sugar. I'm thinking about the nootropic, just talking about focus and concentration. Like, of course, all of her, stress up and all the adaptogens. And it's like, it's so cutting edge. So I end up sending her a bunch of stuff, and she goes, wait, you're with Isagenix? And she goes like, did I do this once? And she's talking about the Scooby snacks. Those who've been around, the little like wafers you had in Cleanse. She goes, I feel like I did this once. And she was like blown away with not only the quality of the products, but the quality of the tools. Like she was like, I feel like I watched like the most cheesy video a long time ago. And I was like trying to Google like old images of the labels. I'm like, do you remember this? And she goes, this is the same company. And it really just kind of like grounded me in a way that's like, there's a lot of people that have no idea what we're up to and how different we are, that like, screw what's happened over the last few years. Like right now we've got Josh Plant, who looks amazing, right? We've got all this science, like incredible products, like what a time to go. So I have one more thing to say before you guys all get off tonight, but Sybil, I want to just, if there's any closing thoughts, any final remarks, anything that you want to share with mine and Jess's teams, we want to hear anything on your heart. And I just thank you in advance for pouring into us. You're so graceful and such a wealth of knowledge. If you guys have gotten some value out of this, please give Sybil some love, give some takeaways in the chat, but don't hang up yet.
I'll just add, just right on the heels of what you're talking about, the nutrition. For y'all that have not been around for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, and I'm sure Jess and Lauren remember this, but there wasn't a week that we weren't enrolling 2 value packs because we got paid $400 to do it, right? So in a week that you enrolled a value pack on a Monday, you could get pretty creative and start throwing out some wild incentives by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because you're going to either make 100 or you're going to make 400. So you didn't want to leave that 300 sitting on the table. But the money was great, and it was right home about money. Like when I made $400 in a week, I would tell my mom, I would tell my cousin, we were going crazy with these PIBs. They were doubled. So if you're new to this, you probably don't remember that, but it was a value pack and it was $600. And the greatest thing about the value pack, and we have gotten away from it, is that people invested $600. So they had skin in the game. They were not walking by those 4 canisters of shakes and heading out to In-N-Out Burger. They were drinking the shakes because they'd made a huge investment. So there is something to be said about what we used to enroll with. And I do think that if you don't have results, you don't have anything to talk about. You don't have anything to write home about. Like, start thinking about nutrition and start thinking about people coming to your house and trying even just the bars and maybe make up some shakes, but keep it real simple and enroll people with the nutrition, train them how to use it so that they can experience, I'm going to say it, weight loss, losing some pounds, you can see it in their face in the first week. Show them how to take pictures, like show them how to shout it from the mountaintops, what's coming from this bundle that they just invested, whether it's the, value pack all the way down to the basic pack. But I heard that loud and clear from Tristan. And he said, you Americans have made this too difficult. You guys are not selling packs. You're not seeing weight loss results. Nobody's got anything to show and talk about. And you're not doing events. And that's exactly what we used to do. I know if I had a meeting to go to on Tuesday night, I wasn't having a hamburger on Monday night because I had a meeting to go to, and I had to look good because I was on the system and I was a leader. Like, we've just gotten away from what the magic was 8 years ago. And really, we were trained, you guys were trained from the same folks I was. It's value pack city, and they were called president's packs. And we used to have to get social security numbers and birth dates too, but we did it. And I know some of my original customers are still with me today because of the results that they got from their president's pack back in 2015, right? So I just think that we really should understand what we've gone through as a world. And we're really focusing a lot on not calling it the 30-day system or not calling it a 30-day challenge, but we're talking about blooming and detox and freshen and spring. And we're trying what Tristan and Stephanie are doing, because by golly, if it's working, they've already established the model. Why shouldn't we at least try it?
Oh my gosh, I love that. You guys, please put some comments in the chat. That's brilliant. Sybil, you're welcome to stay on for this little piece that I'm just going to close with. But we're so in sync tonight. And you guys, we didn't prep this at all. Like literally today, she's like, what are we talking about? And I was like, you're a pro. Like, it's fine. Like, we're just going to roll with this because I know her so well. And I know we could talk about anything. She could do this upside down in her sleep. But I want to tell you guys a story on someone who's like just recently inspired me. And it's so in alignment with Sybil saying. When you bring on a brand new builder, right? Or think about when you first started and that excitement and that enthusiasm. And it's like, I mean, Isagenix is just like oozing out of you and you don't even know what you're talking about. Like that ignorance on fire, right? When you have someone who's a hot molecule and they are just like messaging you like, right away. And like, what about this? What about that? And just that energy. And sometimes you have no idea what they're talking about, but you want to be around it, right? Because they're just vibrant. And I think a lot of us brought people in that way because we came off a 2-day cleanse. We had no idea what adaptogens were. No one knew what intermittent fasting was. It was like you just felt like you were lit up like a Christmas tree and had all this energy and mental clarity that like people couldn't shut us up about it, And I think through the pandemic, through Zoom, through people who've been here for a long time, through like all the hearsay, whatever it may be, like that buzz that kind of used to happen. And I wanted to truly be a little bit vulnerable and tell you guys the story. But the last, few months where I've been more grateful than ever for having residual income and having this business, I have not been doing the things that I've been doing. Like partially up until like 3 weeks ago, I never slept more than like 2 hours in a row. Our kid was not a night sleeper, and you just don't have the energy. And then, Ryan has a full-time corporate job and, I was home. We don't want to have daycare. So it's not that I'm making excuses, but I just was not like how I feel like I've been for the last 9.5 years, right? When I was on calls and doing the best I can, but it was different. Okay. So this woman that I met in my neighborhood, probably 4 months ago, I'm going on how young I think Adonis was at the time, but she was selling a Bluetooth baby monitor, right? And we have like the fancy one like installed in his room, but I was like, I actually do want something like that. And she said, oh, I'll deliver it to you. Cause I was like, where are you? Just put it on the porch. Like, I'll come pick it up. And I remember her being like, oh my gosh, no, I believe in like VIP customer service. I'm going to bring it to you. And I was like, who is this lady that's like dropping off the baby monitor to me that I'm buying? Well, she comes in and she's, very glam, very fun. And she's with Mary Kay. And she came in, she wanted to chat. And I was like a little bit rude, as Jess would say, terse, but that's because I was like exhausted and I have no idea what was happening. But she made a lasting impression. And there's 2 things that she did, maybe 3. First, she came to my house and she was like, you have a newborn baby. You don't need to go anywhere. I'm bringing it to you. Okay. There was effort. The second was just her energy. Like I remember her talking about all kinds of stuff that I have no idea what she's talked about, but she was so fun and she was so energetic and she was just a light that I was like, wherever this lady lives, like when I get back to me, I want to go have wine with her. Like this is not the season, but like I will find you again in like our neighborhood. Okay. And then the third is she very gracefully gave me samples of her products. Like we've all had it in a really like pushy way, but she brought over this like facial mask that she knew was like nursing friendly. Like she was like, don't worry, it's safe for breastfeeding. And she brought me some lip gloss. It was like a vitamin C lip gloss, like all in one. She goes, if you can't do anything else, make sure your lips look good before you get on a Zoom. Like that's what she told me, right? And I really didn't see her for like a month or two. And when I went to go do my Galentine's event, and I was like, I've got to build up north. Many of you don't know, but I moved with Ryan. My whole network's like an hour and a half away. And I was like, I'm going to fill this event if I get some other vendors in the area to kind of make this ladies' night out. They all showcase their different things and us all invite different people. So I asked her, like, hey, like, is this, something you'd want to be a part of? Da, 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 da. Of course, she ends up partnering with me. We end up having a great conversation and we go to lunch. And I'm going to bring this all circle around, but I really want you to just realize how one person has really changed my business and some things around. So we go to lunch, and the first thing she says to me, so she's a very outgoing, just like boisterous, but in a good way person, like huge, big personality. And we're driving and she goes, okay, so I'm going to tell you, she goes, I see you on social media. She goes, but that is not the zombie mommy I see right now. She goes, whoever that person is, where is it? She was like, you were sassy, you were fun. She was like, there is more to you than this right now. And she was, and I'm going to help you get it back. And like, she told me this whole story about like when her little boys were young and how she found Mary Kay. And now she used to work for the like Chamber of Commerce, but that this business allowed her to be her and be this like powerhouse and leader and fun and entrepreneur, but still this very present mom. And I mean, God lined that up as perfect as it could have been, but it was just like speaking everything to me, but it got me excited again. And I was like, the person I was 10 years ago, this burnout nutritionist and exchanging time for money, that's not my story anymore. Like I could go recruit that person. I can find an Emily Sutherland all over again. But I was like, who are the people in my life right now that need this? So I went back and was like, why am I drawn to this person? Right. And I thought about her energy. I thought about her customer service. So I have wanted to support her and I have bought a few things from her. The recent mascara that she just gave me, you guys, I'm not selling Mary Kay, but I'm going to tell you how this has impacted Isogenics, right? I loved it so much. And I said, I need a second bottle for my mom. I have to get this for my mom. When she dropped it off at the doorstep, you guys, literally at my doorstep. And then she texted me afterwards. She goes, it's at your doorstep. And it comes in like, it's like a little red bow on it. Okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, like so sweet. But here's what it has done with Isogenics. It has inspired me so much to be that energy that people have no idea what I do or what I'm up to, but I want someone to be like, that girl was so fun and so energetic and so positive that like they want to kind of be around that, right? I'm not huge on samples and, our like shakes. Some people love them, some people don't. I know we've thought about some things with like collagen. Should we do it? Should we not do it? But there is a time and place. And I am in a lot of buy and sell Facebook groups right now where I'm either getting some used kid stuff because I'm not spending $500 for a stroller I'm going to use for 3 months, right? Or we've already outgrown stuff and I'm selling it. And I have tried to say, okay, what would my friend Ruby do? And I'm like, I'm just going to bring it to you. I was like, no problem. I was like, you stay home. I was like, it's my treat. I'm going to drop it off to you. Or when they've been coming, like giving them a goodie bag of some stuff, the happy mix. So I made little postcards that explain what it is. I put the little samples like in a little sachet and I'm like, hey, just, this is a product that is my absolute like, zapping any of the mommy zombie stuff. I was like, drink it in the morning, tell me you feel amazing, and we'll go from there. Like, she dropped off this mask for me and was like, it's going to take the puffiness away, make you feel 10 years younger. You're going to feel like $1 million and you got a facial at home. Like, I remember her telling me that and just thinking, I want a facial at home, right? And it's like, how can we be so excited about this with Isogenics? And so I just want you guys to really think about right now, like everywhere you go, there are people who need our products. But are they going to be drawn to you? And are you going to be in a place that you feel confident enough to bring up what we have for them, to bring up these solutions, to make those connections? And then where can you go every day that just adds that VIP customer service, right? Whether it's samples, whether it's you taking something to somebody else, you treating someone, you pouring into them with the grace and love that our community and personal development has. But that is what people need so much. And you really have no idea what people need and what they're looking for until Sybil just explained, you're so bold. They don't know what they don't know. And it's literally in their face, a solution, the community, the compensation plan, the products, the energy, whatever that may be. And I really just hope that her energy and the way that she impacted me and how that has absolutely made me pivot and want to show up like I did 10 and a half years ago with Isogenics. Like those first 72 hours, those first 96 hours, that first week in the products when I have no idea. Jess enrolled something like 30 people in her first month. month, right? And that's because she was like lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, we've got to remember what these products do and why we order every single month and how we would not go a day without them. And I will just leave you with this. If you're feeling flat and you're not feeling inspired right now in your business, do two things. Number one, do a 2-day cleanse. Janie always told Jess and I that. She was like, if you are feeling flat, do a 2-day cleanse, right? Just a true, absolute 48 hour, do it like by the book. You're going to feel incredible. But the other is hang out with people who are crushing it and who are inspired. There's no noise in your head for people bitching about cycles being down or returns or blah, 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 blah. If you are around high vibing, high energy people, surround yourself with people like Holly Kirsch, who just created her 9th executive. Hang out with someone like Ann White, who just created an executive. You know, hang out with someone who is just winning a trip, who just had a sold out event. And even on the product side, you guys, Abby O'Neill, if you don't know her, I mean, she's one of my closest friends in the company. She's also been around for over 8 years. And she is crushing it right now with her physical results. And she could have had that story in her head, like, oh, I already got skinny. Now I have to admit that I, put weight back on and I'm doing it again. And she very transparently, very vulnerably with her like 5th pregnancy or 4th pregnancy, what happened and where she is now. She's enrolling like a boss and people are wanting to be around her because she is the energy that you want to attract. So just show up in a way like, would you recruit you? How are other people drawn to you? And just remember that just VIP customer service, be that light, be that magnitude, and do to others the way someone would treat you. And you will see such a flip in your business. So Sybil, thank you so much for everything. Yeah, I love you guys. Congratulations, Holly, that you guys are amazing. Hopefully we'll see you on Tribe Time tomorrow and get your celebration tickets. Buenas noches. Bye, guys.